All right, hey guys, welcome to the second episode of Bobby's Blue Falcon podcast. Hope everyone is having a great night. Tonight, the special guest is a friend of mine from high school, Kyle Buckner. Some of you may know him as the man, the myth, the legend. Kyle, go and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So, Kyle, you're living out here in Knoxville, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's pretty crazy. So we both realized we're in the same state and didn't know that for a while. And here we are. Even though we're 3 hours away, we're still doing this by telephone. But that's okay, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Kyle. You grew up in Chickasha, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Chickasha. My mom lived there. My parents were divorced. Traveled around a lot through my dad. Eventually, I opened a restaurant in Chickasha. Some things didn't work out.
What year was that in when you opened up that restaurant?
The restaurant was in, I think, 2009. Well, the drive-through was in 2008, and then eventually it became the restaurant. 2010.
Okay. And that was in Blanchard, though, right?
Yeah, I was in Blanchard. We had it for about 3.5, 4 years, so
Okay.
it was pretty solid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, how old are you? I mean, you were young.
I was 21 when I opened it. I am
Oh my
30
gosh.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously with the help of my family and a lot of friends, actually. So, it was pretty awesome to be able to do something that young, especially looking back now. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I got to let all the listeners know, I definitely called you out of the blue to get you on this podcast. So thank you, Kyle, for coming on. Sorry for the randomness, but I felt like tonight was definitely the night to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely.
You've had a great week. You're busy with your job there in Knoxville, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I got some questions that I wrote down for you, and I think everyone from high school will enjoy these. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so think back to high school. I know it's a little bit ago, but who was your favorite teacher back at Chickasha High, Oklahoma?
My favorite teacher. Man, that's a tough question.
Okay, one of them. How about that? And
One of
if
them.
you want to give a couple shout-outs, you can.
No, well, I mean, to be honest, with probably my favorite teacher was also a coach, but he was also my math teacher, and it was Coach Oakley. Like, growing up, he was definitely my guy until later on. And then, Johans was always there for me.
Johans Brown.
I guess it was always probably more of the coaches that were my favorite. But yeah, I enjoyed my time in high school, though.
That's good. What made you say Coach Oakley and Coach Johans?
It was the out of the classroom and the type of stuff. They helped me. They helped me with bigger things than even school. Just how to be a good person and work hard. And it's not as corny as it may sound, but like they were really the big influence on a lot of that for me.
And you met, I guess they were your coaches, what, ninth grade?
Yeah, and beyond, and then Johans moved into as a principal. But he was still relevant on the football field and stuff like that. So they were always a big influence to me.
Well, when you say relevant, Coach Johans was probably the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. So he was definitely relevant.
Biggest short man, yes.
Right. Like the Rock, just a little.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure if you know this, Kyle, but so I'm 1 year older than Kyle. I was a year ahead of him, and so Coach Oakley was the football coach when I went from a friend school, which is very, very small. I think I might have had 15 people in my class. Then went to Chickasha, joined the football team. I might have been all of 120 pounds if I was lucky on the football field in ninth grade. So that was entertaining as it was. But Coach Oakley and Coach Johans were definitely very encouraging. For some reason, I'm not sure if they just liked laughing at me so much or
Probably.
yeah, it's probably that. Come on, Bobby, and Coach Johannes be like, come on, prime time, get
And
up,
your class was stacked
Yeah, we
with,
had a couple of people go
with
to D1.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was definitely not afraid of getting hit, but I was definitely reluctant.
Absolutely.
But it was fun, and of course you had Coach Oakley and Coach Johannes cheering me on, then laughing behind my back, I'm sure. But it was all in good fun. Definitely some life lessons
Yeah.
to be learned from that. What made you go into the business of I guess the restaurant business when you were so young?
Ah, when I was in school and I got a job as just a server as like a part-time job, and I was working another job. It was when I was in Arkansas, and I became manager of the restaurant like within, I don't know, like a few months. And
Oh,
I quit my second job and continued to go to school. And I mean, to be honest, I was making like probably the most money in my life at 21 years old or 20 years old. I wasn't even 21. I was like 19 or 20 years old.
good grief.
And then shortly after I opened the drive-through, and I was like, man, there's money to be made in this. And I never really saw that growing up at all, because I went to, like, when I was going to school, I was going to be a coach and a teacher. Like, that's always what I wanted to
Yeah, I remember
do.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but as crazy it may sound, I wanted to be a coach is what I was going to school for. So as crazy it may sound, I still feel like I get to do that today. Like, especially with working with the company that I work for today, and I get to train these kids that are in high school and college, and especially with the generation that we have today, like, a lot of them don't know how to work. Like, they don't know how to sweep a broom. They don't know how to do anything. This is their
Wow.
first job. So I still get to, influence their lives and talk to them. I've had two people that have worked for me here in Knoxville. They both worked for me as sophomores through up, and now they're married together. He's in the Army, and they've been
Huh,
married for
awesome.
over a year, and like, yeah, it's cool. So I still have somewhat that same influence. So that's pretty, I guess, satisfying for me, because that's what I wanted to be a coach and teacher for, is to help influence kids for the better. So
Yeah, that's obviously something that there needs to be more of.
yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
yeah, for sure. Um, so Coach Oakley, Coach Johans, were those people for you?
Absolutely.
If there was something you could do for, I guess, say to people who are older than you, though, as far as life lessons you've had, because you're obviously taking down the lessons you've learned and teaching them to the people who work for you. But for those people who are older than you, what advice would you give as far as maybe things they haven't done in their life yet? Because when I look at you, Kyle, I look at somebody who just went out there and did it.
Yeah.
You had your run at it. You've learned your lessons, and you're continually getting back on top, and you're on top right now. So kind of go into that, like how you've learned your lessons on that.
Like, one thing that I've, even though it might not appear on the surface, like, I've always continued to, like, grow, learn, and to just build relationships with people and talk to people and understand why it is the way it is, or why the person above you, or whatever it may be, the situation may be, but why is it this way? And I don't know, I continue to learn and to continue to grow, build relationships. Like, I moved to Knoxville 4 years ago, and I promise I probably have more friends here than I do back home.
Wow.
And it's absolutely crazy. It's just put yourself out there and talk to people. And when you're in a job, learn from it. Don't be like, I know it all or anything like this. Just learn, humble yourself, and go get it.
Right. Have you been in a position where you've had people in charge of you who are younger than you yet?
Um, when I first moved here, yes, because when I first moved here, like, I got two jobs. I got a job serving and a job bartending. I was working, just
Working.
two jobs. I'm coming from owning a restaurant, going to, like, pretty much the bottom of it. Like, it was pretty humbling. And yes, I definitely had people that were younger than me, and I was just like, this is, crazy. And I just, kind of bit my tongue and found opportunities and kept continuing to do stuff on the side besides work, because sometimes it might not be the place that you're at to where you're going to succeed, but if you're continually to do something on the side, you will succeed. Like it's all about what you do and your mindset about it, for
That's a good
sure.
point. Mindset. Yeah, it's definitely mindset.
Yeah.
I
So
I joined the military when I was 24.
yeah,
So
and I thought it was crazy when you did it. I was like, because you was like, it's you, and I was like, really? Like I didn't really know how I felt about it. Absolutely.
yeah, you and the rest of my family for sure. It was good though. So I obviously was about to graduate in engineering and go do that lifestyle, but I had an itch, I had to scratch it, and so I did it, and I learned really quickly as a 24-year-old that there were people younger than me that were in charge of me,
Yeah.
and just like you said, sometimes you have to bite your tongue, but everyone, no matter what their age is or what their experiences are, or their rank in society, what have you, you can learn a lesson and take away something. Right, for sure. I do know one thing though. America's awesome. So I'll give you
Absolutely. Marca.
that. America. So let's go a little bit more back to high school, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
Yeah.
So high school. What was your favorite movie at the time?
Favorite movie in high school? Wow. Okay. Like, we talking any time in high school, or?
Yeah, sure. Like, what comes to mind first?
Well, I think Friday Night Lights, and I guess I keep referring to like sports back then. I guess is cliche,
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
but we got to see free screening like early before it was even like hit the Chickasha Theater, like the night before as a football team. And it was pretty cool. It was a great movie, but I also loved like Fight Club, and there was a lot of good movies back then that I absolutely liked. So, what about you? What was your favorite
Yeah.
high school movie?
Well, you mentioned Fight Club. I remember watching that with Nick Ryder and Kellen Dyer.
I'm pretty sure Nick introduced me to Fight Club as well. Funny story. So,
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's a good story. The Midnight Rider, as he's known, I guess, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah. So a little shout out to Nick Ryder and Kellen Dyer. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see here. The next question I have for you is, what was your favorite place to eat in Chickasha?
Favorite place to eat in Chickasha? I mean, it would have to be either Roy's or the Grill, for sure.
Oh, man, those are my two toss-ups too.
Like,
So
I mean, you can't
definite
really
answer.
go wrong with either one of those. So,
Well, no matter which one you go to, when you go to class afterwards, everyone's going to know where you went.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
So good, though.
yeah. So for those people that don't know, J&W Grill was a burger joint that specialized in onions, and so you can imagine onion burger joint. And next is Roy's Barbecue, probably the best barbecue I've ever had in my entire life,
Yeah.
no matter where I've gone.
So good.
Both those so good, and the waffle fries. Don't even get me started on the
yeah.
waffle fries. But yeah, great places in Chickasha to eat. And yeah, when's the last time you've been to Chickasha? Actually,
Man, around Christmas probably was the last time I've been to Chickasha.
Okay.
No, not even. It was Thanksgiving. I haven't been there in a while, so it's been Thanksgiving since I've been to Chickasha, I believe. Probably not gonna be able to go till around Chickasha around Christmas time this year. So
Gotcha.
it's tougher and tougher to travel. The
Yeah.
older you get, I feel like.
You're not even married or have kids yet.
No, I know. Well, I'm married to my job, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I hope you signed a prenup, but no. No, I'm kidding. So, what else do we have to talk about? Looking through my notes right here. Your career, obviously you started your restaurant early, and that's
Yeah.
how you did that. You moved to Knoxville. What's something else you would let people know that are maybe in the military that are wanting to get into the restaurant business? What advice would you have for them? Or I guess not necessarily military, just anybody who wants to get into the restaurant
I
business.
mean, yeah, like it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, I mean, they don't look anybody can go in the restaurant business. It's all about just working hard. It's not really the most glamorous business to be in. The hours suck. It's nothing great, but there is money in it. Absolutely. Whether you want to be in management, be a bartender, be an owner, it's just a lot of hours, a lot of work, but there's definitely money into it, and it's it's a job where you can go to really knowing hardly anything and be trained to do it as long as you work hard, show up on time, and try your best. I mean, that's it. That's
I can't,
all.
I can't believe you said that because in the military, I'm sure everyone else who knows about the military, they keep telling you show up at the right place, the right time, in the right uniform, you'll be okay.
I mean, this is exactly what we expect for people. And if you're in the Knoxville area, need a job, definitely get at your boy. So
That's at Kyle Buckner at awesome.com. No, no, I'm joking. So Kyle Buckner, you have a Facebook, right?
yeah, absolutely. It's Kyle Buckner from Knoxville.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I'll tag you in this episode. So this is the second episode of the podcast, and so we're still winging it at this point. So I hope that everyone is staying calm as far as like, oh, it's not exactly what we thought it was going to be. No. What's your future goals?
Well, I have, for the company that I work for, like I have a lot of opportunities to do, and hopefully, if everything keeps going like it's going, I'm going to be moving here at the beginning of the year to North Carolina, in the Asheville
What? You didn't tell me
area.
that.
Yeah, in the Asheville area to open up a few more stores. So it's pretty exciting. I'm very excited for that opportunity. I mean, Asheville is a great area to live. Have you ever been to Asheville?
I have not. I have not yet.
It's a great area to be. It's a really cool town. So
I'm guessing you've already been there.
a couple times. Been there
Either
once
that or
for
you're great at Googling.
yeah,
For sure.
for sure. So
So what do you like about Asheville?
it's one of those like new up and coming. I don't know, just kind of like everything's local type towns. There's a lot of like new concepts there. It's just a pretty cool town.
Right.
A lot of the nightlife's awesome, obviously, and it'll be fun to live there.
Okay. So what do you think about moving there as far as your plans to open up the businesses? What's your strategy? So as a
That
manager,
definitely.
what is the strategy?
Yeah. As far as, well, Asheville would be kind of like a central hub, and some of this stuff definitely goes beyond me and higher up. But we have a developmental schedule. It's supposed to be a few stores per year, so it can be like a 3-4 year project to open up quite a few stores in the surrounding area. So I'll go open up a store for 6 months, get it running, put people in place, move on to the next store, and then kind of oversee those stores as well after I open them up. So it's going to be.
How old are you? You're 30 years old?
Yeah,
doing
30.
That?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I met this guy at a restaurant here in town, and
Oh my gosh. Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take that olive branch you gave me. So the whole purpose of this podcast is about networking, putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Trial and error, which is obviously this podcast is definitely trial and
I
error.
think that's my life as well. I think you just talked about it.
So let's hit on that a little harder, and then we'll get into the last bit of this. But this is a great conversation to have with you, especially because of your experiences in life. So how are you in this position now that you're at?
Well, I got an opportunity to run one store when I was working 2 jobs. I was trained for about a month or 2. Throughout those
met
stores.
This guy how? That's what
I met him. Okay, so there was this place when I first moved here. I lived with my sister, and we'll go back to that later. But there was this little neighborhood, like it's this little bar, like right by the place, or right by my sister's place. So I'd go there, and it was like a restaurant, and I would go there when I get off work, and my sister would be usually in bed because she had a job where she got up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock and had to be there early. So like I would try to be respectful and go like eat dinner somewhere else so it wouldn't be too loud or whatever. And go there, I just, started meeting people. Every time I go there, like I'd meet somebody new. And the bartender's boyfriend actually came up to me and was like, "Hey, I've been watching you." I'm just like, okay. Like,
Okay,
kind of like,
awesome.
yeah, like it kind
Did
of.
you get a good picture?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's just kind of weird. And he's like, no, he's like, I'm actually Bama's boyfriend and all of this. And I'm like, okay, like, that's awesome. I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you. And he's like, well, she's told me a little bit about you and all of that. And I kind of want to talk to you about a job opportunity. And, we talked and I met with him and I met with the owner. I got the job. His name's Matt, by the way. Me and Matt became really, really good friends in the process.
Would he agree you're good friends or?
Yeah, depends on what day you talk to him, but
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But and I started working there. I worked at this one. It was probably their worst store at the time. He's like, I'm just gonna give you an opportunity to do it, so let's see what you got, And so I did, and I ended up. It's funny enough, and this is kind of crazy. I won the highest overall satisfaction measure out of all of the Marco stores at the time. It was like 700 and something stores.
Oh my gosh, Kyle.
Yeah, like
Of
it's
course
like,
you did.
but like it, like I don't know how, to be honest.
No,
like,
I know exactly how your work ethic, brother.
Yeah,
That's why you're such a great person to have on this
Yeah.
podcast because your work ethic is something people can learn from.
So
You won best out of 700 and something stores.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Well, in one category, yes, in one category out of
Okay.
several they give awards for, but it was pretty cool. Like when they told me that, like the store won it, but I was the general manager over the store for the whole time, so it was kind of cool. And then after that, I got the newest store, and then after I got the new store up and running, I literally told them, I was like, I'm kind of bored. Like, I know that, like, this store is not doing quite what we want it to, even though, the operations were good and all this. I was kind of bored, and so I got another store, to look after, and, it kind of went from there. So it's just...
So just continually improving.
Yes, obviously, yeah. And it can be rough sometimes, and... you might hit a rut, and yourself might not be performing like that you want to perform, but it's okay. Wake up. Tomorrow's a new day. Like you can always do better. I'm not perfect, absolutely. There's stuff that I need to work on constantly that I'm not good at to this moment, and I know that I'm bad at it. But I'm trying to work on it, and there's certain things that I'm not good at. But I think self-awareness is huge, and just working hard.
Right, that'll get you a long way in life. So whenever you're feeling those ruts that you mentioned, I definitely have my remedies that I guess go to whenever I'm feeling that way. What do you do on a personal level to get out of that funk, if we will?
Sometimes I'll go and just have one of those nights where you just have a ton of fun. Okay. But sometimes that doesn't work because, those things are hurting worse the next day. Sometimes I literally just have, I guess, almost meditation with myself and just think about, like, where do I want to be? What do I want to do? How am I going to get there? What do I need to do to get there? What mindset do I need to have? What changes do I need to make? So, like, really just judge myself and not try to blame it on everything that I've went through or this or that or the other.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Don't blame it on other people or other situations.
Even if, and I'm very blessed for the situation that I grew up in and how I am. I'm absolutely have a great family that has always been there for me. But, sometimes no matter what situation, you get dealt some city situations, and it's kind of how are you respond to them, is really how it goes. So.
Well, I like it. You get me sold. What do I need to buy? I'm sold on whatever you're buying. Motivational book? No.
For sure.
For sure. No, that's great stuff, Kyle. It really is. Back to high school. that song that was the intro. I know you couldn't hear it because it's going to be on the re-edit version of this.
Mm-hmm.
But it was "Shake Your Tail Feathers." You hear that song?
Yeah, I do remember that song. Yeah.
So
For sure.
me and Kyle, we went to a little bitty, what was it, I guess probably 4 or 5 screen theater
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Chickasha.
Yeah. 4 screen,
And
maybe 6, maybe.
was it 6?
Yeah, I think it is 6.
Is it 6? Okay,
Yeah.
six screens with probably 100 people in each one.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's very
Small. Yeah.
But we went and watched Bad Boys 2 together.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, man, yeah. It was Mandate before
It
Mandate
was.
was a real thing.
It was.
So,
Before it was an actual. Yes, absolutely.
so that's why I had that as the intro to the song, or intro song for this podcast, because it definitely brought back some memories of us leaving that theater, and we had a pretty good conversation. I mean, we were 17, or I was 17, you were 16, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere around then. Yeah, absolutely.
And we kind of promised ourselves to do whatever we could do to get on top of the world, so to say.
We were
And there's
always
different
very highly motivated. There's no doubt.
Right. And there's motivation, and there's also work. You got to follow through. And so that's obviously been proven what you've done. And so I gotta say,
Well, I appreciate
hats
that,
off.
but I still
Yeah.
feel like I have a very long ways to go. But thank you very much for that.
Well, you never know. So Marco's Pizza, that's who you work for, right?
Yes, they're a great company.
Okay. And you mentioned some awesome things about Marco's Pizza. This is a little bit free advertising for Marco's. What's the best part about Marco's for you from a consumer point?
Okay, so from a consumer standpoint, definitely that their ingredients are so much better than like your mainstream delivery
Don't mention
people.
any names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So absolutely. So we make our dough fresh every day, sauce every day. We cut our own veggies every day. Cheese is never frozen, that type of thing. That really makes a bigger difference. It definitely a lot more work than pulling off frozen trays of dough and just letting them thaw out and using them. So it's a great thing. And then we're a franchise, so our owner owns a certain group, and he's absolutely amazing to work for. And my boss that I met at a restaurant, he's amazing to work for. And now I'm up closer to him, still not as good as him, but I'm right there, and it's pretty cool, pretty great group of people to work for, and a great company to work for.
Well, that sounds like you haven't made.
Yeah, I do.
Not to brag. Yeah, I gotta be. Things going all right.
Yeah, they're cool.
Whatever.
They're cool.
That's cool. That's awesome, brother. All right, so the next part of this podcast, which is kind of how we sign things off at the end, and of course, there's no time limit, Kyle. So don't worry about any time limit here, because we're just talking. But we like to give the red, white, and blue Falcon Awards away. The Red Falcon Award is somebody or an organization that makes an impact on other people's lives in a positive way. So, Kyle, you mentioned to me that you have somebody you would like to give that award to, and so I'll let you take the floor on that.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And it's nothing that's pretty relevant. It's been a couple years now, but I've not really had this platform before. I definitely want to give a shout out to my sister that lives here, and a lot of my friends that are even going to be listening to this have never met her. It's definitely my dad's side of the family. She lived here in Knoxville and had a 2-bedroom apartment, and was working at Oak Ridge National Lab, which is a pretty awesome place to work for as well. And after what happened with the restaurant, she open-armed invited me to come live with her and have a new beginning. So it was, without her, I wouldn't even be in this spot today and have met the people that I've met. So it's pretty amazing, and I definitely want to give Lauren a huge shout out.
Well, Lauren, thank you for taking care of our buddy Kyle over here. You'd been okay without that situation, and you'd have moved on forward. But it's family can definitely make a life-changing impact on your life.
No doubt.
That's a double, but yeah.
And it
To
put
make
me in a
an
cool
impact on life.
place. Like, I absolutely
Right.
love Knoxville. Like, I absolutely love it. Being so close to the Smoky Mountains and 6 hours from the beach and close to Atlanta. It's in Nashville, and it's a pretty
What you
awesome
never come
place.
to visit
Yeah,
me.
well,
That's what it-
soon. I promise, soon.
yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah. I've heard that before. I'll see you later, man. Yeah. If I don't answer, I'm busy. I'll get back. I promise I'll get back to you. If I'm not home, just leave a message.
Who has
No, I'll
home
give you a
phones anymore?
No, really? I should get rid of mine. Noted. AT&T. Cancel my home phone. No. So, Lauren, that's awesome. And I myself have family members who've always looked out for me. And I think that no matter if you have family members who have always been there for you or who have not been there for you, sometimes your friends are family too. I've definitely seen the military, people come from broken homes, and there's been people step up to the plate as friends or supervisors, etc. Really take care of other people. And so whether it's blood or not, there's family out there. And so be thankful for it. Does that, you agree, Kyle?
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
All right, so that was a little serious, and now we're going to talk about something funny. And Kyle likes to laugh, and he has probably one of the best laughs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. Sorry.
It's pretty unique. I can hear this guy laugh across from the bar. All right, so Kyle, tell me what you would do, and this is where the Blue Falcon word comes into play. It's got to be to this bank. This bank decided to go ahead and accidentally transfer millions of dollars into this woman's account on accident because her name matched another person's name in their portfolio. Mm-hmm. So this woman thought she was a millionaire for 10 minutes. She looked at her account. She had $50, and then 10 minutes later she had $1.5 million. Or, I'm sorry, $1.1 million. She thought she made a pretty good investment on something. Obviously.
Pretty
So
good, yeah.
Yeah, $50 to $1.1 million. Sign me up for that. Whatever that plan is, I want to be on that plan. So that's the funny thing about financial institutions. They immediately took that money out of her bank, of course. Mm-hmm. But to me, if I accidentally charged my debit card and I meant to use a different one, I can call the bank and they're like, yeah, it's already gone through, man. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
So that's just the irony. I think it's funny. Like, oh, I'm rich. And the bank's like, no, you're not. That's
You're
our
so
bad.
broke.
So you can, they can change the transactions. Like, I just want to make sure. That definitely does happen.
That's crazy. That had to be like the worst day ever. Like the most exciting and worst day ever.
If I was that person, I would screenshot that and put it on Facebook. Like, oh my gosh.
That way she would at least got something for it.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. So wrong. So that's all the podcast. Kyle, do you have anything else that you want to add or talk about?
No, man. I think I talked enough.
Well, hey, you had some great insight. I hope everyone, whether civilian or veteran, learned from everything you've done. And keep working hard, and hopefully eventually you'll find yourself in Nashville, and we'll be able to do this in person. And thanks again for coming on.
I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. And one last thing. So I just want to say thank you for everybody who's listening. Thanks for the patience. We're still figuring this whole thing out as far as where we want to go with this podcast, but thanks for all the support. And I often get told thank you for your service from people that I talk with.
Definitely.
And, it's one of those things, Kyle. I gotta say this. Remember, we're all American. Some of us wear the uniform, but we all serve our country.
Yep.
So.
And some sacrifice more than others, and we definitely, us on the civilian side, definitely appreciate that. There's no doubt.
Well, I appreciate that, man. We're all in this together. So.
Absolutely.
Everybody have a good weekend. And Kyle, I'll see you around.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
All right.